welcome to Buffalo Wild Wings right here in Tiffin, Ohio for the Gary Goff Show as we talk Tiffin University football with the head coach of the Tiffin University football program, Mr. Gary Goff. Coach, how are we doing tonight?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing excellent as well, and welcome out here to BW3s. All you Dragon fans, all the customers out here, make sure you take care of your servers, take care of your bar staff. Say hi to all these guys in green, the coaching staff, the football players, putting in a lot of work, and then get a little night off, maybe time to relax a little bit on a Thursday night. But you got another good opponent coming up here this Saturday, Coach. 2 weeks in, been a couple crazy weeks.
Yeah, it definitely has. But yeah, we're excited about our opponent this weekend. You know, it's homecoming weekend for us, and we got a great opponent coming into town in Hillsdale, and you know they're off to a great start. They're 2-0 to start their season, so it should be a great ball game and a really good matchup.
Well, the Dragons opening week, remember, went up to Grand Valley State and fell in a tough opening opponent for the Dragons. And Davenport last weekend, the team came in and let's kind of run through the scoring from the game last week. Davenport got up early, first touchdown of the game, a 7-0 lead, but then one of the crazier plays, you can see it up here on our film, watch for a deflected pass being caught in the end zone, but Jalen Santoro, young man from Bellevue, been a part of this football team for a long time, kind of a Johnny on the spot, right? Touchdown pass?
I'm not really sure what you're talking about. We rep that play all the time.
Did you?
Said we pass it back to one another and tip it around a little bit, but
yeah.
No, it was a fourth down right there. We went for it, and Pip kind of got flushed out of the pocket and threw it to the end zone right there, and we had our flanker kind of go up for the ball right there and tip it back to Santoro for the touchdown, and it was not on purpose, but we'll take it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Every 6 is a good 6, that's for certain. So first touchdown of the game for the Dragons comes from Antonio Pipkin, a 26-yard touchdown pass to Jalen Santoro to tie the game up at 7-all. And then the Dragons scored next. A young man who started his career with the Dragons in the backfield as a running back. Seems like you're using him quite a bit out of the in the receiving corps this year. Jordan Nobles with a 37-yard touchdown pass to complete a 7-play, 80-yard touchdown drive.
Yeah, Jordan's worked really hard in the offseason. We moved him to slot receiver right there during spring ball, and he had a great spring. And that play right there, we've been working on it for quite some time. But Pipkin found him right there, just right between the safety and linebacker, and Jordan made a great catch and kind of dove into the end zone with it right there. So.
Well, that was the second touchdown of the game, and the final touchdown of the game for the Dragons. Most of the scoring coming the rest of the way is via the field goal, and the Dragons get the last 2 field goals of the game and a 20-17 victory. A hard-fought football game for the Dragons. I'll tell you what, Davenport was a little bit better than advertised. That's a pretty decent football team.
Well, they are. They're going to be a GLIAC member next year.
Yeah.
They got brand new facilities. I mean, they're going to be a really good program. But they came in. Davenport, got to take our hat off to them. They played extremely hard, and we started off pretty fast. But we as the game went on, we made some mistakes that really cost us. I thought defensively they played really, really good the entire game. I mean, really they only gave up 17 points, but offensively we put them in a bad situation. For one of those scores. So, this week we've worked extremely hard on, again, getting back to the fundamentals and, being sound, and everybody knows their assignments and not make the critical errors, which, we did make there Saturday, and there's no hiding from that. I have not had that many penalties in a football game in quite some time.
I knew that was where you were going to go. That was what I was going to bring up to you next. I'm sure as a head coach, the 13 penalties, 111 yards, probably drove you crazy as much as anything.
Well, you have over 100 yards in penalties, and that's really
it's a big hurdle to overcome.
It really is, and put us behind the chains a lot on both sides of the ball. And instead of being third and short a lot, you're looking at third and long.
Right.
And then on the defensive side, instead of getting off the field and forcing a punt, you're looking at them getting another first down. So we got to clean that up, and we've addressed that all week, and hopefully we've got some of these early season game jitters out of our system right there, and we can get back to playing some Tiffin football.
When you look back at the game, Coach, the penalties were a killer, and you mentioned that, like a third down play, say you have a 3rd and 3 and somebody jumps, all of a sudden becomes like a 3rd and 13. How is that on the sideline from a coaching standpoint when you're gearing up, okay, we got this 3rd and short, whether you're going to go power at them or you're going to maybe try to confuse them with some misdirection or something, and all of a sudden you got, 40 seconds, whatever, to come up with your 3rd and 13 play. How difficult is that on the coaching staff? When you're geared in for one penalty, then now you got to change what you're doing.
Well, that's why you spend so much time game planning.
Sure.
You kind of got that call already on your call sheet in case something like that happens. But, still, it definitely kind of throws you a curveball and gets you out of sync a little bit. And there's not very many football plays to continue to overcome a 3rd and 10, a 3rd and 15.
Right.
The percentage right there is just not very high.
Time of possession couldn't have been much closer. 30-07 to 29-15 53.
It really was dead even, wasn't it? But like I said, you got to give Davenport some credit right there. They gave us a lot of different looks on both sides of the ball. Their kids played extremely hard, so it was a good lesson for us to learn right there. We did not play our best football, but we came away with a win, and there's no such thing as an ugly win.
I thought their freshman quarterback, Hunter Kraus, didn't play too awful bad because he was under pressure quite a bit, and as a young man with an inexperienced line in front of him, I thought that he didn't play too bad, and Mike Ivey did a pretty good job running the football for him as well.
Yeah, they did. The quarterback's pretty good. We took a good look at him during the recruiting process, but he actually graduated early and has been on campus there since last January. So
that may be why he looked a little bit better than when I was expecting.
Exactly. They put a lot of time and effort into him, that's for sure.
Kyle Brunson got 101 yards for 11 carries in second game as a freshman to get 100 yards. He's got to be pretty happy with his output on Saturday.
Well, I'll tell you, our three-headed monster right there in the backfield has done a really good job the first two games.
Right.
That first game, everybody's talking about how explosive Jaquan Hardy is, and then after the second game, everybody's talking about the great second quarter Jerry Brown had right there before halftime, and then you look up and Kyle Brunson has rushed for just over 100 yards.
You're right about Jerry Brown there in the second quarter. He was running the ball hard with some purpose there, and really you put your three running backs together, and you got 28 carries and over 200 yards. So that's really good production as a team. 40 carries for 225 yards. Pretty good balance. 225, 245 through the air.
I think my running back coach's master plan is continually to come together.
I keep leading you into this stuff, and you keep trying to deflect away from the running game.
I don't talk much about it, do I?
No. You, every time that's your running joke. You talk about it, and you deflect it another way.
A long time ago we had two running plays. We'd run on the field and off the field. Now I think we got two pass plays. We had a lot of run plays now.
Well, you're one of your guests on the show tonight, Mr. Morgan Lloyd. He had a nice game for your Dragons at the linebacker position. Let's talk a little bit about your defense. They got an opponent to 17 points. I'm sure that was within what you were looking for. But talk about your defense. Seemed like Juwan Nelson make a lot of plays out of the secondary once again, but your defensive line is getting some good push against a pretty big offensive line.
Yeah, really proud of that side of the ball because, you can't imagine the different looks they had to deal with all week preparing for the game and the shifts and the trick plays and then running another quarterback on the field and going into Wildcat, just about once or twice every series. So, they had a lot thrown at them, and that was Davenport's, obviously their motive to come in and kind of, trick us a little bit on that side of the ball and give us some different looks. But Coach Steph did a great job preparing them, and they did a great job going out there and executing. Of course, we always think we can do a little bit better in that area, but they really did a great job if you look at it. Morgan, who's going to be a guest on the show here in a little bit, had a great game. He had, a sack. He had a couple of pass breakups. He had, I think, 10 total tackles. So, he had a solid game, and you need that from middle linebacker. He's kind of been the anchor or the quarterback of that side of the ball, getting everybody lined up and getting everybody kind of settled.
And the Morgan Lloyd jersey caper, the big mystery on the football team this year. We were wondering, who's that number 41 out there running around in the warm-ups? We were told his jersey got tore, but you told me it's a mystery. Who knows where that thing is?
Oh, well, if he keeps playing that well, we're going to continue to change his number maybe every week.
Check the trunk of his car? Well, your opponent this week, Hillsdale. Hillsdale coming in this year 2-0. Last year we went out there and played them. A freshman running back really impressed us in the broadcast booth. And Hillsdale seems like they're a pretty darn good football team right now.
They are. They're a solid program, really good team. Coach Otterbein does a great job up there. But they 2 weeks ago they opened up their season against Indianapolis, who was ranked 25th in the country, and they came away with a win there. So that's a big win for Hillsdale. And then last week they played another GLIAC opponent there in Walsh and came away with a 28-10 victory there. So, they've had a total of 7 penalties all year. So they're very disciplined. They do not make very many mistakes on either side of the ball, and their quarterback's gotten a lot better. He's vastly improved.
When I was looking at the numbers, I thought that had to be the case. Because when I first looked at the stats here, while my son and I were having our dinner before the program, and I was looking at it, I saw 276 through the air per game. And after watching them last year, you would have thought they had to be 2/3, 3/4 run heavy, but they must be relying on that quarterback this year quite a bit more. And as you said, he must be well improved.
Yeah, they're kind of a balanced attack right now. They're pretty effective running the ball. We expect them to definitely do that. They did that to us last year, and then like I said, this young man is spreading around a little bit, and obviously connected on some receivers downfield. So, again, just like every week, defensive right there, we got to be, assignment sound right there and not give up the big plays and, stop the run.
I'm surprised averaging 35.5 passing attempts a game and 387 through the air. But when you break them down on film, are they what we expect from Hillsdale? Is the running really what their strength is, and they kind of do the pass off of what they can do through the run?
Yeah, exactly. They are effective in run and passing game, really, and they try to keep you off balance right there a little bit and throw some different formations at you. So, we expect that, and then they're going to try to spread you out and attack you downfield some. So, the best part of their game last week is they had a really good 2-minute drive right before half and scored another touchdown on Walsh right there right before half, and kind of was a difference in the game right there.
Well, we got lucky last week with the weather. We were expecting some pretty bad weather during the game. We didn't get, but a few sprinkles during the game. It wasn't the best day to be outside and all, but we're calling for more rain this weekend. What's going on?
I have no idea. Well, it does this every homecoming, right?
Right.
Every homecoming, we're going to
right.
get some rain and some heavy wind. And 3 years ago, we had the hailstorm and had to go in the locker room, and the field was covered
Northwood?
in white.
Was that Northwood?
That was Northwood, yeah.
That was one of the craziest games ever. Nice sunshine skies to start the game off. Clouds roll in. Next thing you know, everybody's evacuating the field, and the field is a pure white. But you mentioned it being homecoming, and a Dragon football player former Dragon football player who's in the national light every single week on College Game Day, plus what he does with his own quarterback academy. George Whitfield getting into the Tiffany University Athletic Hall of Fame, and friends found out the other day he's actually going to be able to make it. His College Game Day sent him to Louisville. He'll actually be here for the ceremony for tomorrow night. So it'd be great to have George back in town, even if it's just for a night on homecoming week.
Oh, most definitely. He's been a big supporter of ours and has helped us out tremendously over the last several years. So, we're excited to get him in the Hall of Fame and hopefully continue that relationship with him. But what a great guy. Yeah,
he is a great guy and a great ambassador for the university. Let's transition back to Hillsdale a little bit. Let's talk about them on the defensive side. You mentioned the Hall of Fame, so I had to get that in there. But tell us what they like to do on the defensive side.
Defensively, they're very sound. They sit there. They're going to sit there and they play their normal their base defense. They'll blitz you a little bit on some third downs, but they're not going to let anything get behind them. They keep everything in front of them, and they're very good tacklers, and they play extremely hard. And that's probably the best way to sum up their entire team. They play extremely hard. So, we got to be able to come ready to play Saturday and match that intensity and play, just as hard as them, if not harder.
We didn't mention the special teams yet. Do you think how much of an improvement did your special teams, make from week 1 to week 2?
Well, I think we've calmed down a little bit in the special teams.
That's what I think. That's what I thought part of it was.
So I hope with every game rep that continues to be the case, and us calm down a little bit more each and every week and just breathe a little bit in special teams. But no, pretty pleased with them. We did pretty good on several different units right there in special teams, and I look forward to that to improve as well.
All right, well, I know which player is going to come on the show tonight. Is any coaches coming up here with them as well tonight? Yeah,
we're going to bring Coach Ison up here as well. That's our assistant head coach, linebackers coach, and strength coach. He wears 3 or 4 different hats, and I'm looking to add 2 more all the time to him.
Well, you heard his name, so Coach Ison should make his way up here in just a moment, and we'll talk to him. But yeah, Coach Ison is a guy who's responsible for making the linebackers look like Morgan, making the young corners and defensive backs look like grown men, and does a great job with your kids. And I don't know why he's avoiding us. He's supposed to come up here and sit down with us. There, he finally is moving. But Coach Ison, he's worked with you for quite a long time, and he does an excellent job with the kids in that weight program.
He does. He's a great recruiter. He's great on the field and great in the weight room, and can't talk highly enough about him. We had close to 70 guys stay this summer, and we saw great improvements there in the weight room.
Coach Ison, thanks for joining us here on the program.
Well, thank you very much.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the young man who's coming out here and joining us on the program, Morgan Lloyd, who we'll introduce to our fans here in just a little bit. Talk about the work that young man puts in off the field to make sure he's ready to play football for your team on Saturdays.
Oh, he has tremendous work ethic. Morgan is a good student for one, academic All-American.
Yep.
So it speaks a lot for him, with that off the field. But he also takes a lot of time in film study, in helping out all the young guys, learning the defense and learning the new opponents. He does a really good job.
Let's talk about your day-to-day a little bit. Your coach talked about how you wear many hats, and let's kind of talk about what you do, with the team. Let's talk about the strength and conditioning part of it to begin with. That probably there's no begin and end date for that. It's 365, 24/7, making sure the kids are, I'm sure, working out as they should, but probably the nutritional aspect and those things as well you implement with them as well.
Yeah, with our nutrition program, with the strength and conditioning program, we constantly are trying to look at new ways to get the guys bigger, get them as much nutrition as we can. So with protein shakes, with different supplements and all that kind of stuff. So we're constantly working. But the day-to-day, it's wake up in the morning, got to go lift weights with the kids and do that kind of stuff, then come back and do some football work and just kind of keep going.
Our staff joke with Josh here is that, he tells players, pretty much what to do as far as what they should eat and all that stuff, but they need to do as he says, not as he does.
Okay.
Because I've never seen a strength coach and a guy who's in shape eat more chocolate and muffins. He doesn't eat anything all day besides that.
You go there and eat your kale. I'm gonna be over here eating my chocolate chip muffins.
No, I do like my sweets.
So I'm right there with you, man. When we get done, we'll go get a milkshake. How's that sound?
All right. There you go.
Well, the one thing about being a strength and conditioning coach is that it's reason for you have to stay in shape. You have to get in there and show the kid. You can't be telling the kids, like we're joking, saying you eat this or I'll eat that, but it's hard to get the kids really sometimes to buy in if they don't see you putting in some work too.
No, that's 100% true. I mean, you have to kind of show them. They can't just walk in. You have to be able to demonstrate the things, and if you can do it, that makes them work that much harder. Because I'm getting older. As I get older, they I can do that, and sometimes they can't.
I know we talked with Coach Ison in the past when we used to do the program in your office, and I remember you were a linebacker when you played in college, and you were one of the national leaders in tackling. But tell me how this relationship began.
Kind of a crazy story, really.
I'd love to hear it.
Yeah, it was our first year here, and when I first got the job there in January of 2011, I think.
Yeah.
I had a full staff brought with me, and this guy comes in the office one day, and he's got his suit on, and he's got his resume in hand, and he says, "I'm looking for Coach Goff." And I said, "Well, that's me." He said, "Hi, I'm Josh Ison, and I was on the Michigan staff up there, and they had coaching changes, and here's my resume. I just want to know if you have any openings." And I said, "Well, I really don't. We just got here, but hey, my heart goes out to you. We've all been there." I said, "Wish you best of luck." Well, we had a gentleman on the staff by the name of Kelly Cummins, who's now the head coach at Ohio Dominican.
Yep.
Well, Kelly is with me for about 6 weeks, and he gets hired on at Toledo. So he leaves, strength coach leaves, and I've got his resume sitting on my desk, and I'm not sure why I really didn't throw it away. I guess that was just a hint right there. But so I call him and say, "Hey, Josh, this is Gary. I'd like for you to drive down. I'd like to speak to you." He's like, "Are you kidding me?" I'm like, "No." He goes, "Well, you just said the other day that you're full." I said, "Well, I was until about 8 hours ago." And the rest is history. He's been here ever since.
You were just sitting by the phone waiting for Coach Goff to call.
Exactly right.
We'll talk about your time with Tiffin University. I mean, you dragging through and through since the moment you got here on campus, and you must really enjoy at least working with Coach Goff, if nothing else, with working with the Tiffin University football program.
No, yeah, I mean it's been awesome working with Coach Goff. He is definitely probably one of my favorite head coaches that I've worked for in the past. So he's done a great job here at Tiffin and with the values and getting everybody to buy in. And I truly appreciate the opportunity he gave me to be on staff a long time ago when he didn't really know me, and to keep me around, So.
Right. Oh yeah, right. Because they call it a coaching carousel for a reason, don't they?
Yeah.
You mentioned buy-in. How hard is it sometimes to get those young freshmen to buy into what it is to be a college football player as opposed to being a high school football player?
It's difficult. It is, just for the fact that you come from a high school, they're used to what their high school coaches told them, which it's great for their program, and that's how it should be. And then when you come to college, it's, hey, this is how we run things.
Right.
This is what we're doing here. I know what you did in high school, but it's what we do here. Mm-hmm. Just getting that day-to-day operation and getting those kids around that, they buy in. But with guys like Morgan and older guys we have, they do a great job, and it helps. So
it helps greatly when your upperclassmen have already bought in and are helping sell it to the young kids.
Yeah, exactly right. They're helping you coach.
Right, absolutely. Well, you mentioned Morgan. I know his food's over there in front of him, but I'm sure it won't go cold. He can leave a sip for a moment. And why don't we invite linebacker number 42 in your programs, number 41 on the field, Morgan Lloyd, as soon as he gets over here. Come on over, Morgan. Let's talk to you about a little bit of Tiffin University football. But, yeah, Dragons this Saturday against Hillsdale. This homecoming weekend, 3 o'clock kickoff, not our normal customary 1:30 start because of the golf outing going on in the morning on Saturday. I think it might have something to do with why we pushed the time back, and all kinds of cool stuff going on campus with the Hall of Fame weekend and homecoming weekend as well. Morgan, thanks for joining us. How are you tonight?
I'm pretty good.
Thanks for being here on the program. And Coach Ison mentioned you being an academic All-American. Does it feel does that feel knowing that you're first? You're the first one to do that, and to be an academic All-American. I bet it probably makes the family as proud as you being a player as anything.
Yeah. I didn't know really a whole lot about the program, so when I heard that I was the first, I was a little shocked. But
just means you're the smartest.
Yeah, I guess it means I have to keep that up, though. I can't,
Yeah, you set the bar that high.
Yeah, so I guess that's a good and a bad thing. I guess I have to keep that work level up. So.
What's hometown?
Decula, Georgia. It's just outside of Atlanta.
What was your path that brought you to Tiffin University?
It's actually a pretty crazy path.
Love to hear it.
I started off and played Division II baseball in Augusta, Georgia, and I redshirted my freshman year there. And I loved baseball, but I really wanted to get back and play football. So I went to a junior college just because I knew for recruiting purposes it'd be easier to get re-recruited from a junior college. So after I redshirted, I went to a junior college in North Dakota, which I got plugged in through one of my buddies that was going up there to play.
Did you put a map of the country on the wall and throw a dart?
Yeah, I just kind of blindfoldedly threw one. But no, my best friend was going to go there. He was transferring. He wanted to play again, and so we ended up rooming together. So I wasn't totally alone up there. And I played 1 year there, and then I came here. Coach Sturr recruited me here, and then
How'd you guys find out about that young man way up there?
Well, like every year you're going through all the junior colleges and kind of what you need. And, he came across our desk there, and he had good size, and, we needed GLIAC-size linebackers.
Yes, you do.
We were tired of playing with the little guys that got pushed around quite a bit. So, and he was from Georgia, which kind of the area I grew up. And I found out that he was a Braves fan, so, why not bring this guy in? And
I'll just show you my Braves birthmark I have on my leg.
He didn't know I was a Falcons fan, so.
Yeah, I hold a Falcons fan against him.
Well,
That's okay.
Isn't there a Falcons fan in your family?
Yeah, my wife's a big
As I
Falcons
thought so. Well, my sister's a big Falcons fan. Our fantasy football draft, she went Matt Ryan and the running back for 1-2. So, but she won her first week, believe it or not.
No, but we tripped him in as a smart young man, and we just figured this could be somebody that we kind of anchor the defense around, and he's done just that. He gets us in the right sets and makes the right calls for us, and he's just been a steady football player ever since he's been here.
Before we dig into the football aspect with you, Morgan, let's talk a little bit about what your major is here and what your plans are after graduation. What are you majoring in?
Well, I graduated last spring with undergrad in athletic administration, so I really want to coach. I guess all these guys are saying I'm crazy, so I figured
their wives are probably telling you you're crazy.
So, I figured I'd find out for myself at least, maybe.
Yeah, while you're young.
And so I definitely think I want to try to, want to coach and even, move into athletic administrative roles as far as being like athletic director or, I just really want to hang around college sports, to be honest.
So you'll keep bugging this guy after you're done playing and be like, hey, I'm not going anywhere, coach.
Absolutely.
You got room? Can you make some room? Anyway, we can get me in there.
Absolutely.
I'll put a polo on and stand on the sidelines.
I know where he lives. I'll just drive him home. No.
Now let's talk about the football aspect of it now, Morgan. Linebacking position. A lot of people say you got to be a little goofy upstairs to play that position because you're banging a lot of heads like that. But you're one of the few that have the big brain on your head. But linebacker position, what is it about that drew you to that? Is it pounding on people? Is it wanting to hit somebody? Or is that a necessity?
Like when I first started playing football, that's what it was. I had coaches that told me like playing linebacker, you're supposed to, every play somebody's supposed to be just like, you're supposed to kill somebody. Mm-hmm. And then, I got here, I started playing college football, and, football is supposed to be a violent sport, but, it doesn't always have to be. But, if you're a linebacker,
there's a part of violence in there.
Eventually, you're going to have to hit somebody, and so, when you do, then that's when linebacker, they're supposed to, be the sure tackler or making big hits and stuff like that. So, you want, you don't have to run into contact, which is what I was, when I was young, I was told. But when you have to make contact, like a linebacker, you're supposed to bring it. So,
any plays, games, anything stick out in your memories of something that is going to stick with you forever as you're a member of Tiffin University football team?
Yeah. A lot of other guys probably have it. It's a Saginaw Valley game. That was my first year here.
That was fun.
Yeah, first year here. So I really didn't know like a lot about the GLIAC. I was like, I don't really know much about Saginaw, but everybody's like, oh, they've had draft picks, they win, playoffs every year.
They're defending conference champions that year too.
Right, and so I came in and I really didn't know a lot about them. We just come off of a pretty tough loss to Walsh, and that was my first NCAA game ever. So
that was a pretty crazy night too.
Yeah, going up to Saginaw was awesome, and that was my first time in that kind of environment. And I won't forget that one. That's for sure.
Do you guys have any special memories about this young man? Maybe there's one still yet to happen this year, but is there any memories when you look back at his career at Tiffany University that makes you think that was a great play by Morgan, or just the fact of him being who he is?
Well, hopefully Saturday we make one right there.
Right.
No, nothing really stands out besides the fact that he's just, been a great football player for us, and even better young man.
Right.
Morgan's going to be very successful no matter what he chooses to do. If it's coaching, that's awesome. If it's administration, you name it. But I think he's going down the right path as far as working with people and being able to give back and help people in some positive way. But, as we know already, he's a smart young man. He's going to have a bright future.
Coach Ison, anything like to piggyback that with?
Almost kind of the same. There's never been a play that stands out in my mind because he is a really good tackler. He's a pretty sure tackler.
He's right around the ball almost every time.
He's always around the ball. The one thing I like to tease him, though, about is the fact that I think he should stick with 41, not 42.
We're going to get to that next.
Yeah,
we're getting to that next. We're going to dig deep.
Yeah, because I told him, I was like, hey, you did really good this last game. Yeah. You need to stick with 41. He's like, no. But he's going down the right path. If he decides to be a coach, he'll be a great coach. And if he decides to go into business with his dad and all that stuff, he'll be great in that as well. So,
is the 42 missing on the away jerseys too, or just the home?
Nobody will ever know.
I asked Coach, I said, they checked the trunk of your car. Morgan, what happened to the 42? You were out there warming up, and we're looking at our starting lineups. We're like, who is that 41 out there? Somebody's that's Lloyd. I'm like, no, it's not. Yeah, it is. That's Morgan Lloyd.
It's on his helmet now too, so it's 41 on his helmet now too.
Yeah. So we gotta get the program changed, all that good stuff, huh?
Yeah. Coach Goff asked me at practice on Thursday or Friday. Yeah, he's like, did you take it home with you from pictures? And I was like, we were in white, so I didn't have it then. The last time I had that jersey was a year ago after the Grand Valley game. So,
or
since it was at the frame shop, but now it's
on
his wall. I don't know.
Yeah, he probably sold it to Mike out here.
Hanging up at the beat-ups.
There you go. That's pretty interesting stuff, pretty funny stuff. But, Morgan, you've had a chance to watch Hillsdale on tape. Tell me what kind of problems you think they possess on offense is going to give your linebacking core, maybe not trouble, but something you really got to keep your eye on. Or you guys can stop and sing happy birthday. It's up to you. Go ahead, Morgan.
Coach Goff already mentioned it earlier when he was talking about their defense that they're really disciplined on both sides of the ball. Offensively, they have pretty good schemes. They're gonna pack the box, and they're gonna make all the right checks. They're gonna try to motion, get us out of position, and they really just don't. When you watch film, they really don't. They don't have a lot of penalties. They don't have a lot of glaring mistakes, and they really just play really sound football. And their drives are really just they try to march really methodically down the field. So, on defense, we have to match their discipline, obviously, and match their enthusiasm, and really just play with a lot of effort, and I think we'll be good.
When you look at the rest of the season, have you set any personal goals or team goals out for yourself or for your teammates?
As far as the team goes, goal number one is always, winning season.
Yeah, and win each Saturday.
And then, after that, we want to be a playoff team. We feel like we're a playoff team. The past 2 years, we feel like we've been really close, and this year we really feel like that this is the year that we're going to be able to, take the next step.
And I think this Saturday is a big step towards that.
Oh, absolutely. Anytime you have the next game on schedule, you got to make sure that's the most important. And like I said, the winning season, that, to us, that's goal one. And then after that, we want to really take the next step to be a playoff team, which we feel like we are.
Well, those are like the steps in the ladder. You can't get there if you don't get this one done first. And we talked about a little earlier, Coach, about Hillsdale and what they do on offense and what they do on defense. But when you look at this game, it is a huge game for your kids because the schedule doesn't get any easier as you work your way through it. And Hillsdale's proven to be a pretty darn good football team at 2-0. As Morgan mentioned, you guys mentioned, discipline seems to be the name of the game for this team. But yeah, if we want to, we got that win under our belt last week. in order to ride that momentum and keep building on it, we got to get to Notre Dame this Saturday.
Oh, no question. It's going to be a great challenge for us. We're at home, so it should be a great atmosphere for us. We got a lot of friends and families that'll be in town, plus the alumni coming back. So, it'll be a great venue for us, and we're excited to get out on the field and show what we've put together this week. And we're worried about Tiffin University. You're not worried about Hillsdale or any other opponent down the road. We're worried about how well we can play after play after play after play.
Right. TU goes out and does their thing, then everything else should fall into place. Well, the Dragons are in Hillsdale, as I said, this Saturday, 3 o'clock. There's a tailgate party tonight down at the pep rally at the Gilmore Student Center. If anybody wants to head down there, I think it starts around 9 o'clock. They're going to have a big bonfire and everything. And I saw another story that was on the Go Tiffin Dragons page about something your kids are getting involved with that comes from Hillsdale. Why don't you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, several years back, Hillsdale had a player that took his life, and they started a campaign called hashtag We Won't Be Silent,
right.
And it's to bring awareness to youth suicide. So we've partnered with Hillsdale this week, and we put it all over our Twitter pages. And I think before the game, we're gonna have a picture with our captains and their captains or whatnot. But for a great cause, there's more important things in life than a football game, right. Even though we forget that from time to time.
Sure we do. At least for 3 hours on Saturday.
Yeah. So but no, it's for a great cause, and we're teaming up with them, and we're glad we can help in some way.
Yeah, that's really cool. I saw that. I wanted to make sure that we mentioned that before we close out the program. Again, your events for Tiffin University this weekend. Tonight, the pep rally at the Gilmore Student Center in the parking lot starts at 9 p.m. Tomorrow night, we'll be inducting the newest members in the Tiffin University Athletic Department Hall of Fame. Big football game on Saturday, and then a day of rest and relaxation for us on Sunday. Looking forward to that one. Well, Coach, I think that's about our time. Do you got anything else to add before we wrap her up here this afternoon?
Not at all.
Big thanks to Mike and his staff here at Buffalo Wild Wings. Everybody out here, make sure that you take care of your servers, your bar staff, and they'll keep taking care of you. For Coach Josh Ison, for Morgan Lloyd, for Coach Gary Goff, I'm Russell Snyder saying thank you so much for tuning in and being here at BW3's for the Coach Gary Goff Show. We'll catch you next Thursday right here at BW3, 6:30 p.m. Till then, have a great week, everybody, and go Dragons.